Hello, I'm Shubman Chakravarti right here in Mullanpur, gearing up for the one-off test between India and Afghanistan. Now, with the IPL done and dusted, the color of the ball changes, the format completely changes. Now it's all about red ball cricket and the truest format of the game, which is Test cricket. And this camp is somewhat a short mini camp, test camp for the Indian team. The Indian team today was the first day where the entire team assembled together to start their preparation for the one-off test, and later on, after the UK white ball leg, they will take on Sri Lanka in a very important two-match test series which falls under the WTC cycle. And just to give you a quick reminder, India will play 9 tests in the current WTC cycle, and they will have to win at least 7 or 8 to qualify for the final of the WTC cycle, which includes 2 tests against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka, 2 tests against New Zealand in New Zealand, and 5 tests against Australia at home, which will be the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So, what are the biggest takeaways from today's practice session from the Indian team? We'll talk about the 5 major talking points, and the number one talking point: as soon as the Indian team started their warm-up drills, their catching drills, you could sense Gautam Gambhir is very active. Gautam Gambhir, head coach, of course, he has brought a lot of success to the Indian team in white ball cricket, be it ODIs or the T20I setup, T20 in particular. But Gautam Gambhir has faced hurdles in test format. Now this is a very young side with a full-fledged transition going on, and in this particular test match you won't have the presence of Jasprit Bumrah or Ravindra Jadeja. So in their absence you could see a lot of new faces in the team. Of course, Gurnur Brar was the one in terms of pace department who was in focus, and there are multiple net bowlers also, including the highest wicket taker of last Ranji Trophy season, Akib Nabi, and also with the team are Prince Yadav and Mayank Yadav among the pacers, and within the spinners you have Zishan Ansari, Shivang Kumar, and many other bowlers. So in regards to that, this is a very new team, very young team in test format, but Gautam Gambhir's role becomes very important. How he guides this new batch of players will define how Indian team does in test cricket. So Gautam Gambhir, right from the very beginning, he was actively participating in helping the players in the catching drills. You could see him having long conversations with Washington Sundar even before the team had entered the net. So and after that he had a discussion with the pace troika of Mohammed Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, and Gurnur Brar. So a lot of discussions with Gautam Gambhir in terms of starting the practice session, and as soon as the net start in this searing heat of 40 degrees Celsius here in Chandigarh, you could see the only support staff who was present throughout the practice session, standing firmly behind the net, was Gautam Gambhir, and he kept a close eye not only at the nets, but he was very proactive in telling the players where their technique is going wrong, what corrections they can make, and of course for all the batters also it will pose a slight challenge because they are coming off after the IPL, and you know the back lift, the bat flow, everything changes when you are playing red ball cricket. So Gautam Gambhir was very active in telling players what to do, what to not do, whether the bat is coming at the right angle, the bat flow, their stance, their shot making, their shot making decisions. Everything was keenly monitored by Gautam Gambhir, and as I said, he was telling the players pretty actively what to do and what to not do, where they are going wrong or not. So Gautam Gambhir's involvement in the practice session was very much visible. Now the Indian team has a new spin bowling coach. Gone is the era of Ravichandran Ashwin, and even Ravindra Jadeja is at the fag end of his career. So this is a very new looking spin bowling department. If you count in a Kuldeep Yadav, he is the only experienced spinner in this Indian team. So apart from Kuldeep Yadav, you have a Washington Sundar, now you have a Harsh Dubey and a Manav Sutar who are in the test squad. So for Siraj Bahutule, what he did was he summoned all the spinners, especially who are in the test squad, the 3 names I mentioned, and he set up 2 stumps near the center wicket at the near about the good length area around 4 to 5 meter mark, and he asked the spinners, all three of them, to start spot bowling. He was checking the revolution, he was checking whether they are really what is their release point and where they are landing the ball. And he was also very active, especially with Kuldeep Yadav, who did not have a really good IPL under his belt. So for Sairaj Bahutule, he not only will Kuldeep Yadav's form, Kuldeep Yadav's momentum will be crucial, but how he monitors all these young spinners, Harsh Dubey, Manav Sutar. As I said, there are a couple of more spinners included in the net bowlers camp, be it as Ishan Ansari or Shivam Kumar. He is monitoring each and every one of them, and Sairaj Bahutule has been a very consistent coach within the center of excellence within the National Cricket Academy of the BCCI as well. So his experience will come into play as regards to polishing up these younger spinners who are coming from the domestic circuit. So again, Sairaj Bahutule was pretty active on the very first day, actually second day, but with the full team the very first day he was very active. Now let's come to the bowlers. Number one talking point, Mohammed Siraj. There has been a lot of talks around Mohammed Siraj, whether he is completely fit or not, whether he will play the one-off test, what's his workload like, and Siraj has been relentless. He was part of the T20 World Cup, called in as an emergency replacement for the injured Harshit Rana. Played the first match, but he did not play other games, but he was part of the team. And now after that he played the IPL, played all of the matches of Gujarat Titans, and straight away after playing the IPL final he was seen bowling full throttle for around 20 to 30 minutes, especially at this heat. So Mohammed Siraj looked pretty good when he was bowling. He did not look like carrying any shoulder injury or any bodily fatigue. But of course, given the kind of heat that is here in Chandigarh, you can't expect a pace bowler to go and bowl for around an hour. So 20 to 30 minutes of bowling at one go for Mohammed Siraj, and after that there were a lot of wet towels being thrown around with players taking shade, players wiping off their faces, and it's pretty natural in this heat. So Mohammed Siraj ready to go. Next couple of days will be interesting whether the team management decides to rest Mohammed Siraj and look at his workload. But again, if workload was a concern, then Siraj would not have been bowling here full throttle, that too for around half an hour. So Mohammed Siraj will be a player to keep a close eye on in the coming days. When it comes to the batter, there are a lot of chatter since Rishabh Pant's removal from the vice captaincy around how his mood is going to be, whether he is going to gel well with head coach Gautam Gambhir or not. But these are all professional decisions. As Ajit Agarkar also mentioned, it is in the best interest of Rishabh Pant to get him to play the best test cricket version that he plays, and has been one of the biggest match winners for India in the last 4 5 years. For Rishabh Pant, you will never see him have a bad face in practice session. And Rishabh Pant, to his credit, was very happy. He was involved within the team, catching drills, wicket keeping drills, batting drills. He was there, he was listening to everyone. Even if some of the coaches wanted to have a word with Rishabh Pant, he was always available. And that's the best part about Rishabh Pant. His attitude towards the game is so much so positive that it spreads around within the group. But Rishabh Pant still remains a very crucial cog in the leadership group. Yes, he is not the vice captain anymore, but he still remains one of the senior members of this team. And now coming to the senior members of the team, KL Rahul, vice captain of the team, had a very good batting session for 40-45 minutes. He looked really good along with Yashasvi Jaiswal and Rishabh Pant, who were batting at the same time as Rahul. But what we have observed of Rahul, that he generally completes his practice and nets and goes back inside the dressing room. But today he was sitting there in the shade, but observing every player what he's doing or not. So KL Rahul, now he will have the role of the senior guide in this Indian batting unit, in this Indian team. So KL Rahul again will have a very important role going forward when it comes to the leadership group and how this team shapes up going forward. And now the man of the hour, Shubman Gill, captain, again test cricket, this is his hometown, you can say. Chandigarh, Mohali, Mullanpur, it's his territory. So Shubman Gill was again, as soon as the catching drill started, as soon as the warm-up drill started, you could see Shubman Gill, you could hear Shubman Gill's voice from the stands, and he was the one who started, chirping around. He was the one who was motivating all the players to keep their energy levels up, and even despite a tough loss in the IPL final, despite the grueling schedule of IPL, Shubman Gill was there, and being with the players, being with his players, and listening, having multiple conversations with the coaching staff. Even when he was batting, if there were some technical issues, Gautam Gambhir was there, standing right behind Shubman Gill, and every conversation had something in it. It was not a random conversation. They both, Gautam Gambhir and Shubman Gill, it is their era, it is their time to shape up India's Test cricket going forward. So Shubman Gill, batting wise, he has always looked flawless at the nets. Yes, he will have to tweak like other batters. He will have to tweak a few things for Test cricket. But Shubman Gill, the leader, is always visible and is always available for his player and the team when it comes to his leadership and ODIs and Test format. So Shubman Gill, a major positive from today. Now, when it comes to the other players in the team, now I'll have to talk about Harsh Dubey and Manav Sutar, both left arm spinners. Both had a long stint at the nets with the ball. Manav Sutar did not bat, but Harsh Dubey did bat for quite a bit, and one of them is getting his debut cap against Afghanistan. Washington Sundar is a certainty, Kuldeep Yadav is a certainty. So who will be the third spinner? And the third spinner will be picked between Harsh Dubey and Manav Sutar. Going by the wicket-taking pedigree, Harsh Dubey has more number of wickets. He still holds the record of highest number of wickets in a Ranji Trophy campaign, 69 wickets if I'm not wrong, in the season before, 23-24 or 24-25. So Harsh Dubey is the one who is leading this race in terms of picking that Test debut cap, and for him, who has been mighty impressive for his state team Vidarbh, for India A. I think Harsh Dubey definitely deserves his Test cap, but keep a close eye on Manav Sutar as well, because he was also very proficient with the ball. So these were the major updates from day one of India's practice camp here in Mullanpur, and of course they will continue to train for the next couple of days before taking on Afghanistan in the one-off test, historic test for this venue, because this is the first time this new PCA stadium in Mullanpur will be hosting the 5-day format, and what better than hosting Indian team with their friendly neighbors Afghanistan. Let us know what you think about this Indian test setup, what your ideal playing 11 would be, Siraj's workload, Shubman Gill, Gautam Gambhir. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Revsportz for more. Thank you so much.